Welcome everyone to Family Comes First. My name is Kim Burke, and in this show I am not only sharing co-host honors with Vincent J. Russo, but he's also my special guest in our resource center. Now, no family ever wants to think about the possibility of placing a loved one in a nursing facility, even if it is a last resort. Just the mere sound of those words brings chills to many of our hearts. It's a time when we need the help of a knowledgeable and experienced professional, and that is where my co-host Vincent J. Russo comes into play, because you've been an elder law attorney for many years and helped so many families here on Long Island. So welcome to our guest here at the Resource Center.
Kim, it's great to be your guest today. I've been so blessed by all the families that I've met through the years in my practice in elder law, estate planning, and special needs. Truly inspirational families that have faced real challenges out there. Every day, people are falling into crisis, dealing with situations they didn't think of in advance, and we're there to help.
Well, that's exactly it. A lot of the families come to you, and there's so much heartache and such a guilt and all these other things that they're deciding to put their loved one into a nursing home. What do you tell them? How do you handle that when they come in? You know,
unfortunately, so many families come to us in crisis, and it's so much better if they did advanced planning. But when families do come to us in crisis, we do our best to help them figure out the steps that need to be taken to protect a loved one, to preserve their dignity, protect their assets. And there are so many decisions that have to be made. If a loved one has a stroke, can they come back home? What care will they need when they're home? If a loved one needs to go in a nursing home, how do you figure out which nursing home is the right nursing home? How do you pay for all of this? And so we break it down. We try to settle people in with taking individual steps rather than trying to do everything at once.
Now, what about after they're in a nursing home? Do you follow through with the geriatric care, with the social workers? Do you stay involved with people?
Yeah, it's so important that it's not just meeting a lawyer or meeting a care manager, but really a team approach. It's the extended family. And so care managers often get involved, the hospital discharge planner, the admissions people at nursing homes. The financial planner may get involved to figure out how we're paying for things. The lawyer to help sort out how legal decisions are made and what legal documents need to be in place, how to get on Medicaid.
Now we are going to meet Dina Belmonte and her family in just a few minutes in our family room. But Dina, her son Peter, along with her daughter Enza, helped her make a very difficult decision, which was to place her husband Luigi into a nursing home. And they're an amazing family, a family that you've known for a very long time and helped out.
When they came in crisis, I sat with Dina and we talked about her husband Luigi and how best can we care for him. And she's an amazing person, as we know, and she was able to keep him home for a number of years. But at some point, he needed nursing home care. We figured out how to pay for that care, what government benefits would be available, such as Medicaid. We made sure a durable power of attorney was signed and a health care proxy, so that if decisions had to be made later on and Luigi wasn't able to make them, then a family member could step in, such as Peter, their son, and help make those decisions.
Is that unusual? This is becoming more prevalent on Long Island, what they call the sandwich generation, where you have a baby boomer taking care of his kids and his parents at the same time.
Right. I'm part of that group. And, we're all living longer. And so we're in a situation where the boomers now have a dual role to play. They're raising children and dealing with all of those concerns, and at the same time their parents have needs.
How early should we start planning? Are there people out there that right now should be planning for their future and their parents' future?
Everyone 18 years of age or older should do advanced planning. We too often see in the newspaper we read about a car accident and how that individual now is disabled. Well, once you're age 18, you have the right to sign legal documents that allow family to step in and help. And for older people, it becomes even more critical because of the high cost of care. A nursing home care today on Long Island costs over $10,000 a month. People will be wiped out if they don't plan in advance.
Vincent, thank you for all this great advice, because you are talking to everybody now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us in the Resource Center. And before our visit with the Belmontes, we are going to see a clip that introduces our story to our audience before we meet them in the family room.
My husband had the first stroke November 1st, 97. I never believe that my husband talk again and walk. But the second stroke is finished. 2003 in Italy. He have a stroke. My life today is in beginning this thing. It's very miserable because I don't drive. I don't want to depend on my kids. I want to go see my husband every day. Now, I say, God, give me healthy to support my husband. The cross, I put it on my shoulder. That's it. Because I want to go over there, I see the other people more younger than my husband. Very bad, good shape. Very bad shape. That's it.
So we decided to put him in a nursing home, and it was very hard at the beginning because it was actually my decision to do that. My father left me in trust with his life, and it was my decision to put him in the nursing home. I didn't want to burden my mother with that. So it's a guilt that you carry yourself at the beginning, but then after a while you start realizing that he's really better off being taken care of there, and we just do our best to always be a part of his life every day and every weekend. It took me a little while to figure out how to adopt as a son, a father, and a husband. But after a while, you start learning what's more important. If my wife is sick and needs to go to the doctor, and I know my father's in the nursing home is comfortable, then that becomes priority. It's important that you go visit them and just give 5 minutes of their time to see how things are going. The caregiver and the person in the nursing home misses those people.
When my husband comes home, I look like I feel normal because my husband's here. But when I bring him back, I suffer every night. When I left over there, especially when I don't sleep, I suffer. I pray God, because sometimes when I feel very down, I don't feel good, I say, God, give me strong, because I want to do this thing. I want to go. Sometimes my kids say, man, no go one day. Why I stay alone over here? I have no friends over here, all strange people. I want to go to see my husband. One day cry, one day I left.
Welcome, Mrs. Belmonte, and welcome, Peter. Thank you so much for being on Family Comes First.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Mrs. Belmonte, we just saw a clip of you with your husband and how life is now, but there was a time when you were the primary caregiver. What was that like?
I help a lot my husband. Dress, wash, I prepare dinner, prepare the lunch, stay together, very nice. I'm satisfied that life my husband when he's home. Yeah.
Was it more difficult for you then, or is it more difficult now?
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, very difficult because I don't drive. I'm supposed to go every day. I want to see every day because she's very happy when she see me. I want to show my husband a very normal life. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, for me it's difficult because I don't drive. But I try the best.
Yes. When you do go see him, how is it for the two of you when you're there?
Well, sometimes I understand when talk my husband. I want to tell a joke, I want to make him laugh. But sometimes it's very mad because I know what you want and understand what you say. I said the wrong ends. Sometimes it's very mad.
Mm-hmm. So that must be tough for you too.
It's tough for me, tough for him.
Yes.
I try the best. But, make happy sometimes kick, yeah.
You still get ready for him when you go?
He says, oh yes.
Yes, make yourself beautiful.
Oh yes. yes.
Now, what about before he got sick? What was life like for the two of you before that?
Very nice life. When I come to this country, I started work, me and him. I take care of my children. I got a good time. I have a big family. I go to a ring, I go to the dance, the party. Like my husband, they go to dance, the party. I miss that life.
Right. And on the weekends, is it a little bit like that when he comes home? Does he come home on the weekends?
Yeah, sometimes coming back. So just to put. Sometimes I'm feeling bad because my husband.
Yeah, Mrs. Belmonte, you're truly blessed. You have your children to be there for you. Some families don't, unfortunately, and I know Peter's been right there by your side every step of the way.
Yeah.
Peter, share with us the process of how the decision was made to have your father go into the nursing home, because I know that's such a tough one for families.
Yeah, at first I was really, when he got sick the second time, I was really lost, completely lost. I didn't know what resources I had to go out there and figure out what to do. But then I was introduced to you and your law firm, which I was very blessed at the time because you kind of told me what legally had to be done. But then I sat down with my mom and I had nurses come to visit him at home saying, he's going to need more care than this.
So they did an assessment.
Yes, they did an assessment for him, and they said you have to really put him in a nursing home. You cannot take care of him. It's a very strong responsibility for you to take care of him. I was thinking at the time, on the way to work, I would stop at Mom's house, get him out of bed, sit him up for the day. Then when I get out of work, go back and put him to bed. But I said to myself, this is crazy. My father needs good care, and my wife and I went and researched 8 nursing homes, and then we found the one that we thought was best. And then I sat down and discussed it with my mom, and convinced her that would be the best decision for us to make.
It's one that every family dreads to have to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And you did all the right homework, though. You had the assessment.
Yes.
You looked at the nursing homes to make sure that you were going to make the best decision as a family for your father.
Exactly. I couldn't believe this was happening to me, because not only my parents are older, but they have a language barrier, so I always had to help them even with their bills. Now it's getting worse. He's in a nursing home. And it was very frustrating for me. I would neglect my family to be there all the time. But then I sat down with my wife and we discussed how this was going to be handled. And she's taught me how to prioritize things. And she was a big help to me. And my children also. So I kind of set up, if my father needs to has appointments for doctors, I kind of set up when it's got to be done and when it doesn't have to be done. So it takes homework to do it, but you just got to be kind of neat.
Right.
And organized. You have to learn how to be organized.
Well, it's a juggling act.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes,
and
it is.
And I can tell how it's a struggle every day. We're going to go to a break now, but first a reflection by Monsignor McNamara on Family Comes First.
Monsignor Jim McNamara, and I invite you to join me in this moment of reflection. Get out of my way. I joined this group because it meets some of my needs. I don't go to church because it doesn't meet my needs. This is how Bishop Suller began a beautiful article recently in which he talked about the Beatitudes. He rightly pointed out the prevalent preoccupation with me. The way of Christ, the way that leads to life and joy, is not found in the me-only, me-first attitude. The way of Christ is found in putting others first, in helping others, in bringing compassion as the first stance that I bring to others. This is beautifully expressed in the story of the Belmonte family. The decisions that Peter makes are decisions that are based upon what's best for his mother and his father. He doesn't make the decision on what's best for him, nor even on what would be the easiest decision for him. He makes the decision to help them, and he tries to balance out the service of his father and mother and the needs of his own family. The way of Christ in the Beatitudes, with the poor in spirit, the meek and the humble inherit the earth, are attitudes that speak about leading to life. In the me-only, me-first attitude, we end up being smothered by our own insatiate desires. How much better it is to follow the way of Christ, the way that leads to life and to joy.
Welcome back to Family Comes First. We're here with the Belmonte family. And Mrs. Belmonte, we were talking about when you go to the nursing home to see your husband, what do you do? What do you do together? I mean, obviously you spend time, but what else?
I saw my husband very happy when he see me. And I left. He asked me, who bring to you? when you go home, we pick me up. You know, this thing, I like my husband is very happy when I'm there.
Bingo? Little bingo?
With the bingo, I see the number. Sometimes I say, no, see the number. Hey, make the number over there. You sleepy, you know. I like to stay over there. This 5-6 hours every day to get the next team.
Right, and just having you there.
Yeah, because it's very happy smile when they see me.
And what about having your son living there with you, and how much of a godsend has your son been in your life?
Sometimes I'm feel depressed. I call my son, and my son told me, "Ma, no worry, no worry."
How do the grandchildren feel when they go to the nursing home? How do they deal with it? How old are your...
My daughter's going to be 21 in July. My son is 17, who's Louis like him, as my dad. He had the same name. We were very excited about that. At the beginning, it was very disturbing to them to see my father in the nursing home and to see other residents that were very sick. It's not a happy thing for them to go there, but they understand that it's a must. Grandpa wants to see them, because they do remember when Grandpa used to babysit for them once a week when my wife used to go to work, and they used to mess up his hair and paint colors on his face. So they treasure that, and so they come. They come. They make it a point to be there.
No matter where Grandpa is, he's Grandpa.
Yeah.
He's Grandpa.
Yeah.
Connecting that family.
Exactly.
So I know you've been an advocate as well.
Yes.
Making sure that your father's receiving the best care possible.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
First, I'm blessed with my mom going there every day.
Sure.
And she keeps control of everything. She's very friendly with the nurses, the doctors, and all the aides, because I think they're the heroes of a nursing home. They keep my dad clean. They keep his dignity intact every day. But I make surprise visits. I go there at night, and he's always in good shape. I've never, in 4 years that he's there, I've never seen him, not being handled right or dirty or sloppy. We're very blessed that he looks great, and so my surprise visits at night, late at night, and my mom going there every day, I think that's a big factor in him getting the best of care.
Yeah, you make a very important point there. Going every day, Mrs. Belmonte, is ensuring that your husband is getting the best care possible. By you connecting and staying connected with him, he feels like there's a reason to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so it's really admirable. And I always, when I talk to clients and who have loved ones in nursing homes, stress how important it is to stay connected. I know you have stated in some of our prior discussions about what it means to stay connected. Do you want to share that with us?
Yes, I think, he's blessed to have family members that go there, but there are a lot of people that he's known all his life, that he's done things for and been very friendly with, that just disappeared. They're not there no more. He doesn't see them. He asks about them, and I always make a story that they're busy. Nobody comes around to see them, and I really strongly believe that it's very, very important that when all your friends and relatives, that when you're healthy and you would need it for something, you should be there also for him now at this point. Not only for the person as a resident of nursing home, my dad, but even our family. Just come around, sit with us, and sometimes to visit somebody in a nursing home, it's only 15 minutes of your busy life to take out of. It's not that much to ask. I know people live nearby, and they go shopping across the street from the nursing home. They don't drop in. And I understand everyone's busy. I understand that, but it's just a spiritual thing to do. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's a joy that you bring to the resident and his family, that you come there and spend a few minutes with him.
Well, what you're sharing is how valuable it is for your father and the family to have that family support, the extended family.
Exactly.
And sometimes people just don't know. They're afraid. They think they maybe are intruding.
Yeah.
They think it may be not the right time. And you're saying, come no
Anytime.
matter what time.
No matter what.
Right, just like a good Italian family on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly.
Right?
When my dad was home, you didn't have to call ahead of time.
That's
you just
right.
drop
You
in,
just show up.
and that's how it should be. That's how it should be, because he lights up. I see his face lights up. He forgets about that he's paralyzed. He just forgets about it. He's just happy, and he speaks better when people go visit him. His vocabulary, his voice comes out clearer. When he's sitting there by himself, not doing anything, that's when you have a hard time understanding what he's saying, because it takes a while to get up to speed and par.
Sure. And there's also a huge financial burden that comes with having a loved one who has long-term care needs, especially in a nursing home.
Right.
And you know this.
Yes.
I don't need to tell you and your mom. But planning then becomes very important.
Yes.
Share with us your thoughts on the importance of planning.
It's very, very important. Actually, I speak about this to everybody. I had to learn the hard way, my father getting sick, because we never planned anything. I think every person, once they reach their older life, or even when they're young, they should start thinking about to sit down with your children. And you tell your children what you want done in your older age. You tell them what I would like to do. Go see a lawyer like Vincent J. Russo and Associates. Go see them. Let them help you plan. Don't wait until the last minute. It's so important to know exactly what it is you like. And some people are not fortunate to have children, but they have nieces and nephews. And if you don't have that, put your hand in a law firm. They'll
Friends,
or even a law firm. Just somebody's out there. There's so many things out there that can help you fix, straighten out your assets and plan ahead so you're being taken care of when you get old.
Yeah, I mean, you went through it. The worst time to plan is in crisis.
Yes.
You've got your loved one, your dad, your husband that you want to make sure is being taken care of properly, and your focus is on him, which it should be.
Right.
But then there are all these other things that have to be dealt with.
Right.
How the bill's going to get paid. Is it Medicare, Medicaid? Is there insurance coverage?
Horrible.
Can I make a health care decision?
Right.
And it's not just enough to have the documents. You made an excellent point, which is communicate how you feel.
Right.
Tell people beyond the healthcare proxy. Tell them, I would want this or I don't want this if something should happen.
Right.
And so that communication is so important.
Yeah, I wish that everybody would do something with themselves and get everything in order before, God forbid, they get old and they need long-term care. It's just so important. Don't wait until the last minute. It's just, not that it can't be done, but it's just so much more stress on yourself and work, and get it done early. Just get it done early and you'll be at peace of mind. You'll live a better life. You'll really... tranquility.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Mrs. Belmonte, when the crisis occurred, and I know there were 2 incidences where you were able to keep him home after the first episode, and then the second time, that's when you had that assessment.
Right.
I'm sure you took this as a step-by-step approach, day by day. Is that how you did it to get through this? Because families wonder, where do you get that strength, and how do you actually do it? Day by day?
The first time, I told the truth, not too bad. Because I have a home after 2 months in hospital. Right. My husband said, look like normal. But the second time is very, very bad. Second time, because when I saw my husband,
it was a stroke, right?
The stroke, very bad, as I can move.
And what about now? Where do you draw your strength from? Where do you get your faith and your spirit to go on?
I told the truth, and sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I pray God, give me this, I go volunteer.
What brought her a lot of strength to her, and she has a girlfriend who died from Lou Gehrig's disease, much younger than her, and her daughter died with MS at 50.
Sometimes
she looks what's around her, and she.
Because in nice home, a lot of young people, more worse than my husband. Young, very young, more worse than my. Sometimes I'm convinced, I look in the back, my husband 83, but these people very young, and nobody come to see, nobody, alone all day, a day. That's why I say about this, my...
Your family is an inspiration to all of us, and the viewers, I'm sure, are just sitting here saying, wow, thank you for sharing this story. When I first met the Belmonte family, I knew there was a special relationship we had, but I didn't realize how much love is in your family, and the love that you give to your husband inspires us all.
Everybody loves my husband. My kids help me a lot. Some days I go someplace, my children say, Ma, you go. No, I take care of my father, my dairy.
Well, that was nice. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, the Belmonte family, for sharing with us today.
Thank you very much.
Family Comes First.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
At Vincent J. Russo and Associates, our experience is your protection.
Long Island Signature Elder Law, Special Needs, and Estate Planning Law Firm now has 4 offices throughout Long Island, helping families for over 20 years.
You get a very personal relationship with Vince. You know that he cares about you.
He always showed the caring and the understanding of our challenging situation with our son.
They've proven themselves trustworthy. They've, again, everything we needed, they were right there. They were on top of it. We had to do nothing.
It's not that I just have to deal with Mr. Russo. Everybody's available 100%, 7 days a week for me. Everybody cares.
At my law firm, we understand your concerns. We provide solutions.
To schedule a consultation, please call the office nearest you. Vincent J. Russo and Associates, your lawyers for life.
Wow, what an incredible and touching story. The Belmontes are certainly an inspiration. They've shown us that it not only takes time, discernment, and courage, but you need the right counsel in helping your family make the right decision for someone that you love. Elder care decisions obviously don't just happen. It takes work, and as Vincent pointed out earlier in the show, you need to plan ahead, yes, and you need legal and professional guidance. It's a team effort that ultimately produces the best results for a loved one and at the same time protects the benefits and the whole family.
Everything you said, Kim, is right on target. I cannot begin to tell you how many of my law firm clients feel lost when facing life-altering situations involving a family member. It's just plain difficult. But with family there to help, and with extended family of friends, community resources, and professionals there to help, we can all come together to put a plan in place to preserve a loved one's dignity, protect assets, and provide peace of mind for the senior and his or her family. Peter said something that I think is very worthwhile repeating. He said, if you're a friend or relative of the family, don't lose touch with them after they have placed a loved one in a nursing home. Remain a part of their lives. They need your love and support more than ever. Keeping families together. Thanks for those words, Peter. You know, Kim, we have an excellent elder care resource on our law firm website to help families during these challenging times. Please visit with us at www.vjrussolaw.com.
Thank you, Vincent, and have a fantastic day. Thanks for being our guest and sharing all this insight with us.
Great day to you, Kim, as well. And remember, family truly comes first.
My son Peter take care very well my husband and me.
Kiara and I are very grateful to be able to tell our story.
It's important to get help. It happened to me.
And we hope that telling my story has an impact on somebody watching.
Family Comes First provides an opportunity for families to share their stories, which will inspire and how to meet the challenges in day-to-day life. Welcome, everyone, to Family Comes First. I'm Vincent J. Russo.
And I'm Kim Burke. Thank you for joining us. Caregiving is a growing challenge for a large segment of our population. Seeing a loved one in failing health, mentally or physically, takes a toll on a family, but most especially on the primary caregiver. You see a great deal of this in your work with seniors and families. I know that, Vincent, don't you?
Absolutely, Kim. And I'm sorry to say there's an increasing number every day who need services. In the case of Alzheimer's, a husband, wife, mother, father, or friend can become a virtual stranger as the disease progresses. Statistics speak for themselves. Over 5 million Americans